My beloved ones, I am Algimantas. Today I would like to speak on studies, on education, since we are starting a new school year in our country, in Lithuania. So what is the meaning of education, of learning, of our studies? In general, we understand that people should be educated just to get their certain skills to apply them in practice. For the skills to obtain, we first need some theoretical knowledge. Therefore, all our education is based on acquiring some theoretical knowledge to receive certain skills that we might earn our daily bread for our comfortable life, for our comfortable living. But I would like to expand your view on our studies on education and in general, what is the process of learning and the meaning of learning. If we begin to think that the whole of creation, trillions of different planets inhabited by beings, by our brethren, so this knowledge cannot be testified by any science. It cannot be proved by acquiring certain material artifacts, because our planet is far off Paradise, which is the geographical center of the whole of creation, which is organized into many local universes, and which is inhabited by different orders of beings, personalities. And we mortals are at the very bottom of all the evolutionary ladder, at the very bottom. Therefore, our understanding of creation as a living system is absolutely absent. We have any idea what is creation and what is beyond this world, which we consider to be, the majority of scientists consider to be the only planet inhabited by humans. But if we expand our knowledge, and even if we follow logical train of our thoughts, we would arrive to a certain understanding that once this is the only planet being inhabited by humans throughout the whole of creation, then it should serve as the very center of the universe. And we should be able to control the universe, because we are the only such human beings possessing free will and that highly developed mind. But this is not the case. We have no knowledge of creation whatever. We have no true knowledge even about ourselves. Nothing speaking about our soul and spirit. We can hardly understand what is our material vehicle, our material body, and which way it is operating, and how it is receiving a living energy. So we need to educate ourselves. But in this case, we do not have qualified teachers to deliver this sort of information, this sort of knowledge to anyone on this world. But we must start educating our children since the very first moment we concept a living being. Once we have an intimate intercourse between two different sexes and procreating a new being together with Creator Himself. Because in this case, we are procreating life, the future image of Creator Himself. And this is actually the very initial stage of creating a new living being who will be either a son or a daughter of Creator, which is the truth. But people are ignorant of this fact. They consider that the children who are born of material parents have no any relationship with creation as a living system, whatever. We consider that human beings are isolated from other planets. They have no interconnection with other living beings on other planets, even on other universes. We consider this world as the only one with humans and as an isolated planet that does not belong to anything higher but the solar system. But this is the lowest among the lowest points of view. It must be expanded. It must be given or filled up with Creator's living knowledge, with Creator's living truth and reality. And for this we need to educate even little children, that they would, while growing up, understand that this world is just a tiny particle within the whole of creation, which is inhabited by myriads of our brethren, different orders of spiritual personalities. And we as beings are not this very visible material body, but we are this living content inhabiting this body. So this knowledge being given by the parents to their children should expand their outlook on what is life, what is the meaning of living on this planet, and what is education and learning process. Creator is the very source and center of energy. So we have to understand what is the meaning of energy, which is actually formed into certain living forms, be them animals, beasts, birds, fish, or human beings. So each level is serving its own purpose, which is meant for the well-being of the whole. And humans possessing free will, the only living category on this planet possessing its free will, a personality, spirit, order, is meant to devote to devote its living for the benefit of the brotherhood on the whole of the planet. But to devote one's life for the benefit of the brotherhood, we need to discover Creator Himself as our Father and Mother within, prior to experiencing brotherhood. Because you cannot experience brotherhood before discovering Creator Himself within. So this gospel, which I have been proclaiming, that Creator is real, He is living, and He is within each of us, and it is possible to discover Him within. So, having implemented this gospel of mine within our own personality, we discover that education and learning leads us to the very source of knowledge and light, that is leading us to our parents on Paradise, Creator Himself, the Paradise Trinity, I am, to these four great sources and centers. And if you look at what high school kids or university students are taught anywhere in the world, you will see that all subjects are being instructed as separate subjects. They are not interunited, interconnected into one living system. And this living system has to be led to the very source and center of the whole of creation, to Creator Himself. So education is our understanding of living relations with the very first and great source and center, with Creator Himself, with our paradise parents. Otherwise, we shall never get any understanding of our destiny, which is to be resurrected and be led up to the very center of geographical center of the whole of creation, the dwelling abode of Creator Himself, which is called Paradise, and which is a real venue, a real material place in the very center of the whole of creation. So this knowledge gives us a deep understanding, a deep concept of education and of our learning to experience while accumulating different experiences on the way to paradise. And our planet is just the very initial stage, while we are, like I mentioned before, at the very bottom of the evolutionary ladder, leading to paradise, which is already out of space, even though paradise is generating space, cosmos, out of energy, Creator's energy, so that it would be possible to build new stars, suns out of Creator's energy, and then evolutionary stars and suns, heat, pressure, just expels enormous amounts of burning masses into space. And once it's cooling down, this burning mass, it attracts other masses being flown around the suns, and a bigger object attracts a smaller one, and by this accruement of masses in the course of a very long time span, huge planets appear into existence. This is an evolutionary way to give birth to the planet like ours. But in general, this is Creator's energy. Everything is out of Creator's energy that passes through different forms. And once we have a certain size, which is necessary for hosting life on this or that planet, a life plasma is being created. A life plasma. This is a chemical formula which is being tested by at least 500,000 times of different experiments. How this life plasma might develop, keeping all the potential within that would be manifested on the planet on which this life plasma shall be passed by special personalities, which are called life carriers. So all this knowledge is missing, and we need to present this knowledge. Therefore, we need to have plenty of teachers who would be able to deliver this sort of information. So education or enlightening people is necessary since the very first moment of the concept of life, and then going throughout the whole lifespan on this planet, and then on and on eternally. The process of education and learning never stops, never within eternity. Paradise is also eternal. There is no time phenomenon on Paradise, but even on Paradise, we shall not finish our education, the process of our learning. We shall begin to study Creator and creation on a new level, in a new quality. But this new level, this new quality, shall give us a new vantage point on Creator and creation. So this learning process shall continue forever, which we start on this planet as our initial step. And little kids should be given this sort of reality and truth. This knowledge should be given into the hands of high school teachers, of high school students, of university students, of grown-up people. This knowledge shall never stop, shall never end, because this process of learning, once started on this planet, is also eternal, as it is being given to us by Creator Himself. Therefore, open up to Creator in spirit, in your heart, and you will realize that your knowledge is also eternal. Apply these truths in your reality, in the reality of the whole of creation. And in this case, you shall experience an immense reward, which will be your expanded outlook on the ambience, which is interconnected, interrelated with the whole living system of creation, and even with the very source of creation, our paradise parents, our father and mother. I leave you within the embrace of the paradise parents and my own. Amen.